I just interviewed David Kelly. He's the guy quietly running a $7 million business inside of AppSumo with just 7 people.
We do the equivalent of about $6 to $7 million a year. And we have about 1 million registered users across all of our products.
David runs his lean team just like a startup, powered by clear systems and AI workflows.
So what was previously a 5 to 10 hour process now is done in about an hour from end to end.
And he didn't just get lucky. He's got a repeatable process for finding and building products that hit at least $1 million in revenue. And he's done this over 3 times.
We have a repeatable, scalable method. So we don't just have one single product that's driven outsized results. We have 3 different products which have generated over $1 million in revenue.
So I sat down with David to learn the exact AI tools and workflows that he uses to scale products with a tiny team, also the exact spreadsheet and how his team uses it to find winning products time after time, and how one of their products, TidyCal, actually broke even and ROI'd in under 30 days. If you're building or bootstrapping in SaaS or AI, this episode is a must to watch. Let's dive in. We got David Kelly, maybe the most interesting person that works at AppSumo. What business do you run inside of AppSumo and what will it do in revenue?
Yeah, it's great to be here. So I'm the general manager of AppSumo Originals, which is a collection of our first party products we list on AppSumo, including, and hopefully everyone's heard of this, TidyCal, BreezeDoc, SendFox, KingSumo, and a few others. We look at revenue in a few different ways, but what I would say easiest to understand is we do the equivalent of about $6 to $7 million a year in recurring revenue. And we have about 1 million registered users across all of our products.
And how many teammates do you have on your team?
We've fluctuated at different times, but at this current moment, we have 7 team members.
So 7 team members, roughly $1 million per teammate.
Yeah, roughly $1 million per teammate. And what's most exciting about what we've done is we have a repeatable, scalable method. So we don't just have one single product that's driven outsized results. We have 3 different products which have generated over $1 million in revenue.
Yeah, you guys have gotten really good at not only using data to pick which products to create, but also creating them really quickly and making dope products. So I'm curious, you had a great LinkedIn post describing the AI tools that you use. You're constantly tinkering with AI. Like, what tools are you actually using?
First tool we use is called Chatbase. Chatbase is a lifetime deal that was previously on AppSumo. One of the things we think about where AI is really helpful is AI doesn't necessarily replace people on our organization. What it helps us do is our senior level team members, it helps them accelerate processes. And when we think about the 100,000 people that access the Originals tools at varying levels of frequency and the nearly 1 million people that have registered, we need help getting some of the support documentation to them faster so that they don't message our support team and take up all the bandwidth. So Chatbase is a really, really great product we notice. Helps with knowledge bases and contextually pulling in that knowledge base to offer the best type of chat results. And you can see that we have 3 different chats here for TidyCal, as well as SendFox, as well as KingSumo. And in the past 6 days alone, we've had 817 different people send about 4,800 messages just to the TidyCal chat. So when we think about how AI can help, this is very clearly helping reduce the ticket volume to our support team.
And so before, this would only go to the customer support team. Somebody would actually have to answer this. And now it's just a chatbot reducing the overall tickets to that actually get to support.
Exactly. So this greatly increases the speed and frequency. And what I think people forget about AI sometimes is the point isn't to just have AI introduced for the fun of AI, although there is a lot of excitement around AI. The point is also to introduce AI in order to free our time up for higher ROI activities. So for example, our support lead, instead of answering all these questions, can actually now create FAQ documentation that scales inside of the support documents. Our senior team members who do support can actually transition more to helping sell our products, or they can help us organize our updates that are needed, better see the forest for the trees. So the point of AI is not to magically do things just because it's cool. The point of AI is to help drive ROI for us with our actions.
What are some of the others that you use and love?
So I'm going to give a crowd favorite here for this next one. This next one is ChatGPT. And I'm going to show you guys my exact ChatGPT messages for a lot of what we do inside of Originals. So you can actually see how I've used ChatGPT over the past few weeks, helping me understand homepage conversion rates, helping me plan our projects for the month, helping me develop templates for BreezeDoc, helping me understand the subscription levels for TidyCal. And collectively, we use ChatGPT as an organization pretty often. Our daily drivers for AI are ChatGPT, the O3 model specifically, which is really great reasoning, and then also Gemini 2.5 Pro. So a lot of people really sleep on Gemini and how good Gemini has gotten. We noticed that Gemini 2.5 Pro, especially the integration with Google Drive, allows us to really quickly and easily create exceptional documentation for our products. And one place we see people not using AI that I'm very surprised about, because it's actually given us some of our most outsized returns with AI, is creating in-app product copy. So I can send a screenshot to Gemini and I can say, hey, here's our settings for TidyCal. Tell me how you would improve this to be more clear and conducive to our user base. And Gemini will come back with an output that tells me which words I should change, how I should move settings around. And it does it in a really, really clean way. And when we think about the human effort required in that, it would typically be me as a product person, our designer, our developer, debating where different settings should go for hours and hours and hours. So what was previously a 5 to 10 hour process now is done in about an hour from end to end.
Nice. And then any of these in particular that you use in ChatGPT that you would recommend for other people, or like you have an, I think, kind of unique way of planning through the GMO structure, or maybe it's a deeper dive into TidyCal subscription, or any of these that you think worth double clicking into?
I definitely do. So when I think of SaaS products, and when I think of people building SaaS products or coaching people or building agencies that work with SaaS products, one of the things I think about is how we organize all the feedback we receive. So if I were to click on this one, which I will do for you guys, we have this really great prompt right here taken from Schumer prompt that we input a lot of information about our business, and then it gives us opportunities to improve our business. So I take this as a data point every month to try to help me understand what to build. And you can see there's a bunch of different data here. If I go back, I'll actually show another one as well. This is a feedback collector prompt that once again is from Schumer prompt. So I want to get online reviews and online feedback about BreezeDoc. And that prompt gave me a lot of really great insights. So these prompts, like the one we see in front of me and a few others that we have back here, allow me to take a lot of different disparate points of information and data and put them into a centralized location to make better decisions. So it's not always about solving everything from A to Z with AI. Sometimes it's about making certain parts of the process better and then still retaining some of the manual efforts, but being able to retain a lot of this information in a clear, cohesive way has really helped with our development process and our product planning.
Schumer prompts?
Schumer prompts, yeah. So Schumer prompts is a really great website for pre-vetted prompts. A lot of what I think about when prompting is I can sit here and try to figure out prompts all day, or I can use something like Schumer prompts or ChatGPT Prompt Genius subreddit or other ChatGPT prompt subreddits to help me understand how to best prompt. And a lot of times I just take those prompts and fit them within our system and our efforts.
You're running this business, you run a very lean team of 7 people, or 6 others. Where do you go to learn AI and to test out some of this stuff?
One of my favorite uses for AI right now, in order to get more familiar, is to try it in a lot of personal ways as well. When I think about how we adapt new habits, a lot of times I'm trying to create a structure where my default response is to use that new thing. So when I start to use it for my personal life, planning my girlfriend's birthday, planning a trip, trying to understand locations in relevance to Airbnbs, things like that, it starts to set this habit where when I have a question or when I have a thought, my default response is now going, oh, can AI solve that? And sometimes it can, sometimes it can't. The other thing I really enjoy doing, and I would encourage many people to do this, is talk to your entrepreneurial community. Talk to your colleagues, talk to your coworkers. There are a couple of people I talk to who are incredibly proficient at AI and make me feel very, very stupid. I talked to one of them, my buddy Sydney, yesterday, who's doing so many crazy things with the new Perplexity Comet browser and building out all these insane flows. Not to say we necessarily have to do that. Once again, I would be careful making sure that we actually have pragmatic, real business use cases for AI. But when we surround ourselves with people who are exploring AI, when we explore with a curiosity ourselves, not just professionally, but personally, we often find that we start to dabble and explore. And even if we fail 50% of the time, because of the frequency, we're often finding successes that do work.
So you rattled off a good handful. Are there any others you recommend for people to dabble with?
LinkedIn has some really great posts. I think some of the more popular LinkedIn posts nowadays are AI centric. I think there's a subreddit for everything. So I would encourage people to also search for ChatGPT prompt subreddits. Schumer Prompts is another great resource for finding really expert vetted prompts. And outside of that, I think following TechCrunch, TechMeme, and some of these other websites that tell you up and coming AI products is really, really great. And then of course, we have many great AI products listed on AppSumo that people should check out because many of them come with really awesome refunds.
Back to you launching all these products over the years, I think you guys have done an exceptional job of doing in a quick way and then doubling down on what works. I think you have a spreadsheet maybe of how you make these data-informed decisions, or can you just walk us through how you think about making new products? So you basically have made a bunch of these. How many have you made over the years?
So over the years, we've made somewhere between 7 and 10 products, depending on if we want to include ones that have very short beta launches or not. 3 of these products, with a 4th in the not too distant future, are $1 million products. So most SaaS companies, their level of success, $1 million products, is around 4%. We tend to be somewhere between 30 to 40% of our products are $1 million products. And I don't say that because I think we're necessarily rocket science geniuses. I think we have a refined process that a lot of people can copy, and maybe they won't reach this level of success, but they will find a level of success. And one of the first places we start is we start with a product modeling spreadsheet. So when we think about building a successful product, we look at what products our customers want and what products excite us. And this actually goes all the way back to 2021, this spreadsheet. And we noticed that having used Book Like a Boss and Calendly and these other tools, I personally wanted something that was a little simpler. And we created a bunch of other products that you'll notice highlighted here as well. So clickable links in social media profiles, a Linktree alternative turned into Sleek Bio, Scribe, simple version, which was email signatures turned into email badge. So we followed this methodology of ranking, and it isn't perfect, but again, it is directional to help us understand which way we want to move. And here's what's kind of fascinating, right? A lot of these products showed similar signals for potential levels of success. So Book Like a Boss, all these other products, but Book Like a Boss alternative, which turned into TidyCal, is by far the most successful product we've ever launched. So even though we understand and we have this modeled out, part of my feedback, which is also what Chief Sumo Noah says a lot, is you got to just launch things. You got to iterate and you got to define these different opportunities and just go after it.
Can you just walk through like real quick the scoring that you do for the goal, impact, ease, what does viral mean, and how you add those up?
So when we look at this framework, which is an adaptation of the RICE framework, which a lot of people know, we kind of get creative with how we think about it. So if our goal for a year, for example, is to bring in more customers or revenue or whatever it is, we relate this to the goal impact on a 1 to 5 scale. When we go back to our small development team, which is what you mentioned, Mitchell, we need to make sure it's relatively easy to create. We don't have a huge team, so how do we rank this accordingly? We don't have a big sales team either, and we often use AppSumo to help us market like a lot of partners do. We're no different. We don't receive special treatment. We get the same budget that partners do. We need products to grow on their own, so how do we build viral products? And then finally, how excited are we about a product? So I was really excited about TidyCal. I thought it would be a really, really great product, and it turned out to be that way. But again, sometimes we launch things and we have different expectations. We think things will happen and they don't. And a lot of product development, a lot of this spreadsheet is hypothesizing and trying to launch things as quickly as possible in order to see what happens. So what's amazing to think about with TidyCal is we launched that from start to finish, concept to launch, in about 5 weeks. So we had our first version in 5 weeks. And when we think about the cost to launch it, maybe that costs us about $30,000 in developer costs and time costs. The shorter the time frame, the less expensive it is to launch. Therefore, the ROI comes to us quicker. So now we think about TidyCal, and it took us probably about 30 days to recoup that cost, maybe even less.
Amazing. David Kelly, thank you so much for coming on. We'll have to bring you on for part 2. Thank you so much, David.
I can't wait. Thanks so much.